2 months ago, I made a video about the provincial government acknowledging Aboriginal title exists across Metro Vancouver, but not saying where. Prior to that, a BC court ruled Aboriginal title takes priority over private property. Homeowners in Richmond cannot sell, banks are refusing mortgages, property values have dropped 29% in the affected areas. And on May 25th, the parliament voted against protecting private property. Three major developments in 6 months. If you own a property in BC or anywhere in Canada, you need to understand what just happened. Stay with me. My name is Roshan Victor. I serve Surrey, Langley, the Fraser Valley, and Greater Vancouver area. But before we get started, subscribe to this channel, like this video, and turn on the notifications for regular BC real estate updates. And if you want to discuss your particular situation and see how we can work together, there's a link in my description below to book a call directly into my calendar. So now, there were three major events that happened since last August. The Musqueam agreement, BC court ruling most people missed, and what happened on 25th of May in the parliament. Let's break it down. First one is the Musqueam agreement. 2 months ago, the provincial government signed an agreement with the Musqueam nations acknowledging Aboriginal title exists across Vancouver, Richmond, North Shore, and the Lower Mainland. Millions of people live in this area. The agreement acknowledges title exists somewhere, but did not define where. No boundaries, no clarification on private land. That created uncertainty. If we do not know where title exists, we do not know which land could be affected. A lot of you asked, what happens next? Here is your answer. To understand that, let's go back in time to August 7, 2025. BC Supreme Court ruling on the Cowichan tribe versus Canada. Justice Barbara Young found the Cowichan tribe holds Aboriginal title over 300 hectares in Richmond. She ruled that Aboriginal title coexist with fee simple title on private properties and declared it a senior interest. Aboriginal title takes priority. People who thought they owned their properties outright just found out another legal claim sits on top, and that claim comes first. Let's break this down. Fee simple interest is what you would generally get when you buy a property, a detached home, or a townhouse complex. Fee simple means exclusive rights. Aboriginal title is a collective group right. Those are fundamentally incompatible. But the court said both exist on the same land. So, what does this mean? You own the title, but it is superseded by the rights of Aboriginal people. So, you basically are second in line, and technically they own the property first and then you. Now, there are repercussions for this, and here is what happened. Banks pulled loan agreements in Richmond. They could not guarantee clear title. Homeowners were told their properties are unsecuritizable. One company was refused financing for $100 million project. A property dropped from 900,000 to 700,000. That's a 29% drop in such a short span. Over 150 homeowners were told their properties are unsaleable. Now you own it. You paid taxes on it, maintain it, but cannot sell it, cannot refinance it. Premier EB announced 150 million in loan guarantees as a temporary backstop. But that does not resolve the legal problem. So let's talk about what happened on May 25th, 2026. The Conservatives rightfully introduced a motion calling for the federal protection of private property. However, the Liberals, the NDP, who rules currently in British Columbia, and the Bloc voted it down. That was a refusal to provide legislative clarity. Parliament left property owners in a legal limbo. Yeah, you heard it right. MPs that you and I have selected, they refused to provide legal clarity. And now, this is not just Richmond. The BC court said Aboriginal title overrides private property. A New Brunswick Court of Appeal said the opposite. Two courts, two conclusions, no national standard. Let's rewind back to January of this year. First Nations filed a lawsuit citing the Cowichan ruling targeting 650 hectares of fee simple land. At least half a dozen of active land cases in BC are currently going on. The Musqueam Agreement covers Vancouver. And if you own property in Vancouver, Burnaby, Richmond, Surrey, Langley, or anywhere in the lower mainland, your land may be subject to overlapping claims. And here is why entire Canada is vulnerable. Canada does not have constitutionally protected private property rights. Canada holds property through crown granted interest. That right can be challenged or subordinated. Aboriginal title is recognized as a prior and senior right. It exists before Crown grants. So, now two legal claims exist on the same land: your fee simple title and the Aboriginal title. The court says Aboriginal title is senior. So, technically, that's a red flag. If you own a property in BC, here is what this means. Title certainty is no longer absolute. Due diligence has changed. Ask your lawyer to check for Aboriginal title areas while buying, selling, or refinancing. Financing conditions may be tightened. Lenders are adjusting risk adjustments. Property values are being affected. We just saw it: 29% drop in Richmond in the affected area, and market prices at risk. Now, there was another school of thought that said that all of this can be appealed through the courts. Yes, the appeal process will take years. Supreme Court intervention may be needed in the meantime. And we need to realize that most of the land that we live on is unceded territories and have overlapping claims. The Musqueam Agreement acknowledges title exists. The Cowichan one showed it affects private property. And the Parliament is refusing protection. The legal framework protecting ownership is less certain. And the provincial government acknowledges Aboriginal title without boundaries. Three major events in under 6 months. And the government has refused to define boundaries. Here is where the challenge happens. Millions of Canadians will be waiting for courts to resolve this. It's not a crisis to panic about, but a reality to understand. We really do not know which direction this is going to go in. However, this is one story you, as a homeowner, potential buyer, or an investor, need to follow and keep a tap on. If this connects the dots, subscribe and turn on the notification channel. This story is developing and I will cover it as it unfolds. If you have any questions, reach out through the link in my description below or drop a comment. And if you know someone who owns property here in British Columbia and have not heard about this, share this video. This is information every property owner should understand. Thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next one.